are watching Rogers Sportsnet, home of the MasterCard Memorial Cup.
It is the Ontario Hockey League's version of the Frozen Four. The Beasts of the East are led by the CHL's top scorer, 151-point man Corey Locke of the Ottawa 67s. But they face a major test in the form of St. Michael's masked man Andy Chiodo. South of the border, a whale of a season for Plymouth. Chad Larose has blossomed into a star. The best of the West played in Kitchener during the regular season. Now Derek Roy and the Rangers look to take the next step. It's a cross-border battle between Kitchener and Plymouth. The Western Conference final is tied at 1. There is no other place to be for Game 3 but here on the Next.
The Canadian Hockey League on Sportsnet.
The OHL. Now this is hockey, and this is the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium as we get set for Game 3 between the Whalers and the Rangers. Hello everyone, I'm Kevin Quinn. Welcome and happy Easter everyone. We're glad you're with us. Home ice has not been an advantage for either team in this series so far. In fact, the home team has scored just once in the first 2 games. Let's bring in John Druce right now, and John, maybe you can explain why being on the road has been very good for these teams.
When players play on the road, they don't have to impress anybody. They're more willing to play the team system, get the puck in deep, and play the style of game that the coaches want them to play. At home, Plymouth, a 4-3 record, not very good. Away, they only have 1 loss, 5 wins. Kitchener at home, they have their only 2 losses of the playoffs at home, but away, 5-0. Very important for Kitchener to get their act together in this home building and have a good performance tonight.
Well, one guy who certainly has his act together is the goaltender.
Scott Dickey has had a tremendous playoff so far. He's looking to redeem himself from last year. Last year they lost 4 straight to Guelph. I think what he's learned from that is much better prepared to play mentally. He's come into every game and been very consistent for this team. When they get down by a goal, he doesn't quit. He's much more focused.
Gave up just 1 goal in Game 2 in Plymouth, but the Whalers certainly have a lot of firepower.
Chad Larose with 61 goals, you're a marked man, and it makes it very easy for a team to focus on one guy and concentrate on one line. So what Plymouth has gone and done, they picked up Chris Thorburn from Saginaw, brought him in to play on the second line, 30 goals during the regular season. Both of these guys have 8 goals during the playoffs, makes it much more difficult to cover 2 lines.
Well, you talked about Chad Larose being a marked man, and Steve Eminger, the first-round draft pick of the Washington Capitals, will be one of the guys trying to shut him down. It's OHL playoff action here on Sportsnet. It's coming up next. Let's take a look at the lineups now, and we'll start with the visitors from Plymouth and their blue line.
Plymouth's top 4 defensemen are very solid, but James Wisniewski is the most mobile defenseman on the backside. Up front, we have a little speedster in Carl Stewart, signed by the Atlanta Thrashers. Very fun to watch, gets on the opponents very quick.
How about the Kitchener Rangers and their blue line?
Steve Eminger and Marcus Smith will be on the ice at all times when Chad Larose is on the ice to prevent him from scoring. Solid defensive pair. Up front, Peter Kanko has been outstanding during the playoffs. 2 goals and 2 assists in last game on Friday night.
It is Game 3 between the Kitchener Rangers and the Plymouth Whalers. The puck drop is next.
The Ontario Hockey League on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the new Don Cherry Tall Boy Can. Now free inside cases of Molson Canadian playoff packs and perfect for watching the game. By Tim Hortons Iced Cappuccino. Tim Hortons Iced Cap. Totally creamy, totally cool. And by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium, and we are moments away from the puck drop. But before we get to it, let's meet our starting goalies. And starting in the nets for the Plymouth Whalers, it's going to be Paul Drew. And Drew did not have a good outing in game number 2. In fact, he got pulled in the 3rd period of that hockey game, but his overall performance in this postseason has been stellar for the Whalers. At the other end, you talk about stellar. How about a 1.89 goals against average for Scott Dickey? He was a star in each of the first 2 games in this series. And the referee for tonight's game is Brad Beer. The linesman helping him will be Kevin Hastings and Brent Holdsworth. And John, you know that the Kitchener Rangers want to come out with a better start in this hockey game here at home than they did in the first game in this series on Wednesday.
They were definitely flat in the first game. They have to do something different early on to get their legs and get the team going.
Well, they've got Derek Roy, Evan McGrath, and Campbell out there to start this hockey game. And there is Gregory Campbell, number 4. Going up the middle, looking for McGrath. That didn't work. Roy's got it down. Roy crosses the blue line. He stopped. McGrath carries on. But it's Cole Jarrett who'll pick it up for the Plymouth Whalers. Mitchell, Vigilante, and Larose up front. Keep your eye on number 17 for the Whalers. Chad Larose. Larose with 61 goals during the regular season. Leads his team in this postseason. He has 8 so far. He's got the puck now, and he'll flip it in. Smith back to pick it up for the Rangers. Sends it around the boards. McGrath got it. His pass for Roy didn't work. Lipperton for the Whalers. Plays it forward, and we've got an offside.
Well, we mentioned how game 1, Pete DeBoer said his team came out very flat, and all the players knew it. On the bus ride up Friday night to Plymouth, everybody was quiet, and you could tell there was a quiet confidence, the focus that the guys had, and they went out and they played a tremendous game, coming out with a 6-1 victory in Plymouth on Friday night.
The only 100-point team during the regular season in the Ontario Hockey League. They were number 1 overall and ranked 3rd in the country in the CHL rankings. And we've got Kevin Hastings, one of the linesmen, and he was hurt, and he looks to be in some discomfort.
Well, that just adds to his misery. I know that he wasn't feeling very well this weekend. Spoke to him a little bit. He said he was a little bit under the weather, but he'd be ready for this game. And right off the bat early on.
Happened right in front of the Plymouth bench. I'm not sure exactly what happened. He certainly is in pain. I'll take a look at the replay here and see what happened.
Oh, the players went in and hit him right by the. Looks like it caught his foot or his knee. Twisted it as the players ran into him along the bench.
He has not been able to get up to his skates. And this happening just minute 3 into this hockey game. Well, Hastings still in a lot of pain. As you mentioned, his legs were hanging over the boards, whether he twisted his ankle as he took the collision. Brad Beer is the referee, and the other linesman is Brent Holdsworth.
Wow, he must be in a lot of pain. He keeps himself in tremendous physical condition.
And there's 2 backup linesmen in the stands. If Kevin Hastings is unable to continue, they will quickly get changed to get on the ice. One of those situations where he's going to try and walk it off a little bit, but he is not even able to walk very well. So there may be a delay here as we get another linesman. As we mentioned, game 1 in this series was played on Wednesday night with the Plymouth Whalers coming up with a 3-1 victory. And then game 2 on Friday was back in Plymouth, and the Rangers evened up the series with a 6-1 victory. And Ian Smith is quickly headed to the dressing room. Ian Smith, a veteran, and it's in Guelph last year at the Memorial Cup.
Well, we know he's capable. He did a terrific job at the Memorial Cup last year.
Well, that's a tough one for Kevin Hastings, as you mentioned, a guy that just absolutely loves to be around the game of hockey and loves the Ontario Hockey League.
Mike Bellucci working things out with his assistant coach.
This is the number 1 team in the Midwest Division. They were 2nd in the Western Conference, 3rd overall in the Ontario Hockey League, finished with 97 points during the regular season. Yep. Ranked 7th in the Canadian Hockey League when the final top 10 rankings came out. Now, what about this delay? What effect does it have on the players?
Well, it's early in the game. I think the guys were really ready to play this game. It slows them down a little bit. Maybe calms Plymouth down some. Lets them regroup because Kitchener did have a pretty good start, having most of the play played in their end.
Thorburn, Stewart, and Fiedler up front now for the Plymouth Whalers. We talked about number 19, Thorburn. He has 8 goals in this postseason already, tied with Chad Larose, and leads the team with 15 points.
Jonas Fiedler has moved up to play on a line with Thorborn. Injuries to Ryan Ramsey. He's out of the lineup. They've had to make a few changes, but Thorborn is the ultimate power forward. Mike Vellucci's so happy to have him, and he's been brought in and done exactly what they've asked of him to do.
Plymouth going with 7 defensemen in this hockey game. Ludmark draws in. That is Eric Ludmark. Puck right in front, and it gets by Lippiton. He's paired with James Wisniewski, a draft pick of the Chicago Blackhawks. Fiedler takes a bump and gets it to Stewart. Here comes Carl Stewart. He'll stop, centers it out in front, looking for Fiedler. And his skates got it now. Backhands it out in front. Thorburn trying to get a shot away and couldn't do it. Back the other way. Alkitis will get to center. They'll just flip it in as the Rangers make changes. The big line is up there now. Roy, number 14 for the Kitchener Rangers. He's got 18 points, the draft pick of the Buffalo Sabres.
Derek Roy's been fantastic for this Kitchener Rangers team all season long. We had an opportunity to watch him play at the World Junior Championships. He was amazing defensively on face-offs. Just a workhorse for this team. We're going to see him out on the ice. He's going to be facing Nate Kaiser, Cole Jarrett on the defensive end for this Plymouth Whaler team. They like to keep a close eye on Derek Roy.
From the face-off, back to the point. Shot right on, and that one didn't miss by much. As Harrison let it go, it wasn't a hard shot. Now Harrison trying to keep it in at the blue line. Gets past Roy. Right around by Gagnon, and Jimmy Gagnon sends it the length of the ice. Back to pick it up. Sent around the boards. Gagnon trying to keep it in. Kept in, Martinowski trying to get it out, and he does to Dave Clarkson. Clarkson crosses the blue line. Clarkson moving in. Ridden off, in behind the net, still has it out in front, takes the shot. And Paul Drew has to come up with his toughest save early here in the first period.
Good drive wide, fighting the guy off. David Clarkson uses one hand to hold off Letizia. Nice pick behind the net by Roy to give him a little bit more room. That's what created that space. Right here, you'll see Roy come in, give him some room, give him time to come out front, get a nice shot on net. Paul Drew, square to the shooter, makes a nice stop.
And that is the first shot on goal in this hockey game. 17 minutes, 8 seconds to go here in the first period. Smith. Adam Keefe. He'll send it in deep. Now comes back to center. Mahone moving in, takes the shot. And Dickey steers that aside. Another chance from a tough angle. And Dickey had the answer there. So that's 2 shots now for the Plymouth Whalers. Adam Keefe gets it out to center. And that is shot in by Boucher out there with Grenier and Keefe. Grenier centers it in front. Boucher with a shot, and he didn't miss by much. Jesse Boucher looking for his first goal of the postseason. Had an assist in game number 2. That was his first point, but he had a good chance there. Big hit going on there, and we've got our first penalty of this hockey game. And the Kitchener Rangers are going to get a chance with a man advantage.
Jesse Boucher right in the right spot, drops the puck and sets himself up, and Grenier makes a nice nifty pass, but Boucher all alone. There's the penalty right in the corner. From behind. Players flying around everywhere. David Lifton going to be in the penalty box. Opportunity early for Kitchener on the power play.
Kitchener Rangers were 2 for 7 in the game on Friday, but 0 for 6 in game 1. Their power play currently ranked 9th in the postseason. Goes to work here with 15:54 to go in the first period. David Lippiton in the penalty box. Chad Larose doing some penalty killing. Out there with Wisniewski, Thompson, and Jarrett. Fired around the near side. Rangers 12 power play goals in the postseason. This is their 63rd chance. Campbell trying to keep it in, can't do it. Penalty killing ranked number 11 for the Plymouth Whalers. Now coming out is Richards. Richards moving in. Mike Richards still has it. Trying to get around Sestito. He's given a bump by Kaiser. Fighting for that puck. Gets it back up top. Back. Quick shot. And that one from Benoit steered aside. Benoit had the only goal for the Rangers in Game 1. A short-handed marker, number 16. Here's Kanko. He had a big game in Game 2. Out there with O'Navigon. Richards trying to get it back to Benoit. Sestito comes up with it, and he'll clear it down the ice. 28 seconds to go in the man advantage as Eminger goes back to pick it up, the #1 draft pick of the Washington Capitals in 2002, taken 12th overall. And we've got an offside at the Plymouth blue line.
Here we see Ian Smith getting on the ice. That's a quick change.
Kevin Hastings going down with what we think is a knee or an ankle injury right off the hop. And so Mr. Smith thought he was going to be in street clothes, and now he's going to work.
He's happy to be on the ice, you can tell.
Here's Cole Jarrett with the puck, and he'll find an opening and fire it down the ice. You know, there's theories about power plays, and now sometimes if you don't get your power play organized early, it can take some of the momentum away. Let's see what they do here as Derek Roy tries to spin his way in. Still has it, centers it out in front. What a nifty little move there by Derek Roy. 50 assists on the season, led this club. Fiedler trying to keep it in as the penalty ends. The team's at even strength. Here's Clarkson. That's center. And he gets stumped. The Rangers, though, will keep it in. Martinowski. Along the far side, he gets tied up by Lippiton, who has come out of the penalty box. Cheezick. Moving it up and into the Ranger territory. Back the other way, Martinowski. Moving in with Roy and Clarkson. Cole Jarrett trying to send it around the boards, can't do it. Clarkson in the corner, comes up with the puck. He gets knocked down. Back to the point it comes, and it's picked off by Mitchell. At the blue line, Chad Larose. Larose giving a bump. Carrying on. And the defense a little bit scrambling, but to get the job done. Clear, but not out. Mitchell moving it in for Vigilante. Now the Rangers will get it down the ice. Force Cole Jarrett back to his own zone. O'Navigon giving him a watchful eye. Letizia off the boards. Halkitis back in his own zone. Nathan O'Navigon. He will just shoot it in. Kanko will give chase. He's out there along with Richards. 12:43 to go here in the first period. Larose crosses the blue line. Larose trying to go one-on-one. But Halkitis does a good job defensively. Thorburn intercepts that pass, but Larose couldn't get out of the zone. You're watching OHL playoff hockey here on Sportsnet.
The Ontario Hockey League on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Grab, the science of skating.
12 minutes, 27 seconds to go here in the first period. The shots even between the Rangers and the Whalers at 2 apiece. And Johnny, we're talking about a different Kitchener Ranger team than the one we saw on Wednesday.
This is a different team. They have much more jump to the game. They look like they had quicksand in Game 1.
Trying to get it out in front. Roy with a shot. And Paul Drew has to be sharp with traffic in front, and he jumps on that loose puck.
We're seeing Derek Roy play a lot early in the game. He's been double shifting. He normally plays with McGrath and Campbell on the same line, but he's also been out there with Martinowski and Clarkson. So what DeBoer is trying to do, get him on the ice a little more, get him away from the checkers that are being placed on him, and he's very effective early in this game.
In there to take the draw and gets it. McGrath in the corner, being watched by Wisniewski. Roy in there to help out along with Thorburn. Thorburn trying to watch Roy. Puck goes into the corner. Play continues. Thorburn comes up with the puck. He'll move it out to Stewart. Carl Stewart to Jonas Fiedler. Fiedler will give it to Chris Thorburn. Thorburn moving in against Halkitis, trying to get it to Fiedler. Couldn't get the shot away, and Gregory Campbell comes up with it. And he'll send it down the ice. Graff racing after it. Battle in behind the net. Campbell comes up with it, gets it out in front. He was knocked down, though, and couldn't get good wood on it. Kitchener with the pressure. Here's Campbell. Roy heading for the front of the net. Eminger trying to keep it in. Now it comes to Campbell at the blue line, and he'll play it back to center with Thompson forechecking. Smith in his own zone, plays it up on the boards, and we get an offside.
Tremendous work by Kitchener, putting pressure down ice. Marcus Smith supporting on the backside, but it makes their job much easier on defense when the forwards are putting a lot of pressure up front and working the other team down low. They didn't do that in game one, and that is the style that the Kitchener Ranger team has to play. Take the pressure off the defense by getting the puck in the offensive zone deep.
Here is Harrison. Thomas Harrison, he has an assist in game two. Another offside.
This CHL game is brought to you by iTech Hockey, the exclusive player and goalie facial supplier to the Canadian Hockey League.
Here you see Scott Dickey. He surpassed Donnie Edwards as the best goals against average all time for the Kitchener Rangers this season with a 2.59 goals against average.
He was a second star in a losing effort in game one, made 38 saves. It was his third star in game two. Laid up, and Boucher, Grenier, and Keefe out there now. The forward line for the Kitchener Rangers. 10 minutes, 38 seconds to go. Larose putting on the pressure. Back up top it goes. Livingston with a shot. And another injury as Smith took that one in the shoulder, and now he is headed to the Ranger bench. And he's going to go right to the dressing room. Block that shot. There's Sestito. Shoots it in. Steve Eminger in behind his own net. Gives it to George Halkitis. Halkitis takes a bump from Mitchell as he gets it out to center, and we've got another penalty coming up. A slashing call. All by referee Brad Beer.
Here's the hit behind the net on Marcus Smith. Battling. It looked like it came after the fact. He got hit under the boards, and then it's very difficult to tell exactly what happened there.
I thought he got hit by a shot.
Wow.
Chad Larose is headed to the penalty box for the Plymouth Whalers, and the Kitchener Rangers will get their second man advantage.
Well, you know Mike Bellucci's not very happy. You can see him shaking his head. He's going to the penalty box.
Now the Rangers did not generate a shot.
There's a spear right there. Larose behind the net on the Kitchener Ranger defenseman.
All that slashing, but either way, the Rangers with a man advantage. Clarkson moving it in, quick shot. And that one from Kanko goes over top of the net. Kanko, 4-point night in Plymouth. Eminger and Halkitis on the blue line. This power play goes to work. Centered out in front. Clarkson was looking for it, comes back to Halkitis. Halkitis trying to get it through a crowd, can't do it, blocked by Stewart. And it's sent down the ice by Thompson.
Plymouth does not give you a lot of time to set up in the offensive zone.
Long shot by Richards, trying to catch the Whalers on a line change. Drew comes up with a save, and he'll hang on.
Kitchener's doing a much better job trying to get to the front of net, but Peter Kanko has been outstanding in the playoffs, and Peter DeBoer said he's probably been the best player, the most consistent all playoff long. He comes to play hard and physical. He's not the biggest guy, but he's ready to play game in and game out. It's very important that he leads. He's a draft pick of the Los Angeles Kings, and actually Andy Murray said that he almost wanted to keep him on the team this year. That's how good of a training camp he had, so he's very valuable for this team.
Third round draft pick in 2002, was taken 66th overall. Benoit will keep it in at the point. He's paired with Eminger. Being watched by Jimmy Gagnon, and Gagnon wins that battle for the puck and sends it down the ice. 9 minutes, 10 seconds to go here in the first period. A minute left in the second power play for the Kitchener Rangers. McGrath loses it to Jarrett, and Jarrett fires it down the ice for the Whalers. And they have generated just one shot, and Sestito goes into the net and knocks it off the moorings.
Both of these teams had a tremendous regular season. They're very close and similar in all ways. 46 wins, 43 wins. Second in the conference, first in the conference, goals for, goals against, very close. Both of these teams play a very similar style. The biggest thing is they're well coached and they're disciplined. They stay within the system. They don't try to get away from their game plan. I think the toughest thing to do with junior hockey is teach kids to play that style of hockey and not get away from it. can lose it early in a game sometimes and get away from their game, but these two teams don't do it.
Met 4 times during the regular season. And the only win for Kitchener came here March the 4th. And a 3-1 victory. The power play has 22 seconds left on it. Halkitis will keep it in. Looking for Derek Roy. He's out there with Gregory Campbell. He's got the puck right now. It's it back to Roy. McGrath's out in front. Back up top it comes to Eminger. Quickly over Halkitis. One-time shot. And the glove saved by Paul Drew.
Good shot by Halkitis, trying to get the puck to the net. One guy they really like to look for out front is Greg Campbell. On this shot here, there's no chance for him because he's not in front of the net, but Gregory Campbell loves to place himself in front of the goalie. He has a tremendous knack for getting his stick on the puck on the power play and tipping goals in. He already has 5 power play goals in the playoffs.
He leads his team with 9 goals overall. He's got the Cy Young going. He's got 9 goals and 1 assist, so it's 9-1 on the line. And this power play is going to come to an end as Larose is back on the ice. 2 shots generated for the Kitchener Rangers on that last man advantage. Lippiton in the corner. He's given a bump by Kenko. He's out there with O'Navigon. Back the other way. Here comes Mitchell. Mitchell takes the shot. Kicks aside by Scott Dickey. O'Navigon takes a bump, but he gets it for Mike Richards. Now a battle continues, and O'Navigon sends it down the ice. Lippiton. He'll backhand it off the boards and get it to center. Halkitis to Eminger. Steve Eminger gets his way through Larose and fires it into the corner. Well, he took a stick up high. The play continues. Wisniewski plays it into the corner. Can't go first to get it. Centers it out in front. Tipped into the corner. Back to pick it up is Mitchell. He'll get it to Vigilante. That play didn't work, and Eminger picks it up as the Rangers make changes. Picked up by Vigilante, and he'll just flip it. Clarkson waiting for it to come down, plays it off the boards. Takes a bump from Fiedler, and Stewart will send it back into the Kitchener end, and it's icing. You're watching OHL playoffs here on Sportsnet. Don't forget the hockey news comes your way tomorrow. Darren Millard will be your host. And also throughout the entire NHL playoffs, Hockey Central is the place to be. 6 o'clock Eastern time. Here in Kitchener, 6:54 to go in the first period. Still no score between the Rangers and the visiting Plymouth Whalers. Faceoffs could be important. And the Plymouth Whalers are dominating so far, winning 63% of the faceoffs as that puck goes up into the netting and we get the whistle.
They have not done very well in the faceoff, Kitchener, but they have had most of their play in the offensive zone with 2 power plays. And you talked about the momentum earlier in the game, how it can affect a team. Well, if you keep getting chances on the power play, you're going to gain some momentum, and it's going to tire the other team out.
2 for 7 in the game 2, but did not get a power play goal in 6 chances in this season opener, or this series opener, I should say. Jonas Fiedler, pass to Thorburn. Thorburn moving in, takes the shot, and that one didn't miss by much. Carl Stewart first to get to it, backhands it in. Nice pass for Thorburn. Thorburn in behind the net. Still has it. Being watched by Benoit. Chris Thorburn, he is big, still has the puck. Spins to try and get away from Benoit. Loses the puck, and Andre Benoit fires it around the far side, and that will go all the way down into Plymouth territory. James Wisniewski there to pick it up for the Whalers. Wisniewski with 10 assists. Leads the team. He had one in game 2. Here's Carl Stewart. He'll fire it in the opposite corner. Fiedler gets to it first, tops it out in front, and Dickey gets the quick glove hand and makes the save. You're watching OHL playoff action here on Sportsnet. Baseball comes your way from Tampa Bay. The Blue Jays will be there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and we'll have it for you 7 o'clock Eastern each and every night. 5:55 to go here in the first period. Still looking for our first goal. 6-5 the shots on goal in favor of the Kitchener Rangers. Cheeser in behind the net. Still has it. Roughed up along the boards. Mitchell takes the shot right through the crease. Comes back to the point. Cole Charrett with a shot that got deflected over top of the net. Plymouth Whalers trying to put the pressure on right now as Eminger in behind the net. Chips it by Chad Larose. Boucher out there with Keith and Grenier. Jesse Boucher with a great chance early on. Grenier keeps it in. Gives it to Adam Keith. He's tied up. Gets it to Boucher. Boucher trying to stick handle in that corner. Has a tough time. Comes around the near side. Vigilante will get it out to center. Larose is there, and he'll quickly get it to Mitchell. Mitchell trying to get around Halkitis. Good defensive play by number 21 for the Rangers. Steve Eminger picks up the puck behind his own net. He takes a bump. Mahone gives him a rough ride, but Halkitis comes up with the puck. 4 minutes, 51 seconds to go here. Roy out there now with Campbell. And McGrath hopping over the boards now. Eason up for Roy. Bouncing puck. McGrath almost got loose, but Kaiser was there. And then Campbell gets dumped right at the blue line. And the play continues. Kaiser moving it out slowly. It's chipped in. And a penalty coming up. And a high sticking call. And Kaiser and Campbell have some words.
Campbell's going to take the penalty right there. He gets his stick up a little bit high. Derek Roy and Jimmy Gagnon were chasing each other around the ice all shift, and that's a matchup that these two, this is what Mike Bellucci wants for this Plymouth team, to have Jimmy Gagnon and Derek Roy's face to shadow him. Peter DeBoer said that he doesn't mind the matchup. He says he hasn't seen any reason for them to change it. And you see Greg Campbell in the box.
Power play for the Plymouth Whalers goes to work. They were 1 for 5 in that game on Tuesday. They've got 8 power play goals in 6 road games. Here's a chance for Thorburn with a shot. And Dickey has to be sharp to keep it 0-0.
Nice play by Wisniewski to get that puck through the seam to Thorburn. He's all alone. Nice shot, and Carl Stewart right on the doorstep looking for any garbage laying around the crease area. Dickey does a good job, but Wisniewski, good vision back there on the point.
Thorburn with 4 power play goals in this postseason. Wisniewski and Cole Jarrett on the blue line for the Whalers. Larose has the puck now. Larose fakes the shot, moves in. Now he'll take the shot, and that riser goes over top of the net. Thorburn, watched by Halkitis, gets it back to Larose. Chad Larose with Stewart parking himself in front. Puck tipped away, and Wisniewski will have to go and get it with 3:49 to go here in the first period. 1:25 to go in the man advantage. Wisniewski with some steam right up the middle. And Dickey's not going to take any chances. He'll cover it up.
Well, that's the mobility of James Wisniewski. Ability to come up through the middle with the puck and be confident enough to split the D. In game 1 here, there was a goal scored where the D were split. And again, Wisniewski trying to do the same thing. It makes it very difficult when you drive through the middle of the ice. The D have to make a decision of who's going to take that man.
Here's Wisniewski over to Jarrett. Jarrett, wrist shot right through. Thorburn looking for the rebound. Along with Stewart. Puck is still loose. And now it's covered up. But a mad scramble in front. And Scott Dickey holds his ground.
A good job by Steve Eminger in front of the net to rebound and clear the front of the net, because Carl Stewart is right on the doorstep. If he gets another poke at it, he could possibly chip it over top of Dickey. Plymouth doing a tremendous job getting guys to the net and just getting the wrist shot through and getting it on net and leaving it up to the forwards to bang in any garbage laying around.
4 shots so far, and for Plymouth on their first man advantage, a power play ranked number 2 in the postseason coming in. Just over a minute left in it. Drew in behind the net. Good forechecking job there being done by Grenier. He's up front with Richards, Halkitis, and Eminger on the blue line. Here's Wisniewski. Crosses the blue line, and it's offside as Thorburn got tied up with Grenier.
Grenier was backing in and saw Thorburn coming across, gave him a little bit of a push to force the offside play. Smart play by Grenier. But you're right about this Plymouth power play. They were incredible in the first round. They were 48% against Owen Sound in the first round. They're down to 30% now. It's tremendous how effective they are.
You take 30% anytime.
No kidding.
And the only goal they got in that 6-1 loss did come on the power play in game 2. 37 seconds left in their first man advantage. Fiedler. Jonas Fiedler across the blue line, and again, Vigilante just a half stride offside. John Vigilante, he was the hero for the Plymouth Whalers in the series against the London Knights that went 7 games. He got the game winner and the series winner in that contest.
And he's a rookie on this team, and he's playing with Larose and Ryan Ramsey, who's not in the lineup, who is a top player for Kitchener. John Mitchell's replacing him in the center position, but Vigilante really been promoted to play in a top-line position.
Well, Fiedler, Vigilante, and Mitchell up front. Here's John Vigilante, gives it to Mitchell. Mitchell with a shot. Hickey the save. Into the corner, Benoit looking for it. 10 seconds left in the man advantage. Mitchell, he's given a bump by Benoit. Eason to Benoit, and he'll get it out and down the ice, and that will do it as Gregory Campbell steps back on the ice. Well, he did get 5 shots in that man advantage, and you'll take that anytime as well.
They keep it simple. They get it to the point, get traffic out front, and I think it's very important early on in the game in the power play that you establish that. It may open things up later on to move tic-tac-toe passes around.
So half the shots for Plymouth in this first period have come on that one power play. They're still out shooting Kitchener 10-6. We've got 1:55 to go here in the first period. Quick shot, Kalkitis. Puck gets deflected high and into the mesh, and then after the whistle, Jarrett getting involved as he knocked down Derek Roy.
And that's the matchup that we've been talking about. Jarrett on the ice when Derek Roy's on the ice, playing physical, taking him at every opportunity from behind, but he doesn't finish there. As he gets up, he gives him an extra little shot right there, trying to throw him off of his game, but he finds himself going to the penalty box.
Well, Cole Jarrett is a 5th-round draft pick of the Columbus Blue Jackets in 2001. That was what would go into the undisciplined category. And it comes with just 1:51 to go here in the first period, and power play number 3 for the Kitchener Rangers. Back to the point. Here's Eminger. Eminger trying to get it on net. And it's picked off. And Thompson.
Pretty good hand-eye coordination right there. He almost kept that puck in, kept it alive. Steve Eminger quarterbacks the power play on the point. He is one guy when they get in set up with a guy along the half boards for him on the one-time shot to get the puck to the net, but they haven't been able to do that against Plymouth. Plymouth takes away the ice so quickly that they don't have a lot of time to set up on the power play, this Rangers team.
Panko is sending it in deep, looking for Gregory Campbell. He's up front with Roy. Panko in behind the net. And it's Thompson who comes up with it. He's up front with Jimmy Gagnon. Thompson crosses the blue line. Now he'll go for a skate to try and kill some time. Gets it back. And Kaiser will fire it down the ice. 1:16 to go here in the first period. 1:23 left in power play time. Panko, his pass, blocked by Larose. Kaiser did not get good wood on it as he tried to send it down the ice. Now Kiedis up for Panko. His pass for Campbell didn't work, and Gregory Campbell will backhand it in with less than a minute to go. Center on the board, Panko waiting for it, picks it up. Campbell drops it back for Eminger. Panko hangs onto it, down low now. Roy turns, traffic in front, fakes the shot. Halkitis now. Halkitis did not get that shot away, and that allowed Chad Larose to get it out. Eminger will pick up the puck. 32 seconds to go in the period. Steve Eminger bulling his way in. Here's Eminger in behind the net. Still has it. Centers it out in front. Sent right through, and Panko wasn't ready for it. And Kaiser will come up with it, use the glass, and get it down the ice. There's 15 seconds left in the period. 20 seconds to go in the man advantage. McGrath will drop it back for Halkitis. George Halkitis takes his time, gets to center, just 4 seconds to go. They're trying to get a shot away. Clarkson with a chance, lets it go. And that one didn't miss by much, right at the buzzer. No score here in Kitchener. We'll come back with much more. You're watching OHL playoff hockey here on Sportsnet.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Sportsnet studios. I'm Jason Portuondo. We'll get you back to the Rangers and Whalers in a second. But first, the other OHL game today, Ottawa at St. Mike's. Andy Chiodo and company leading 1-0 in the series first period. Chiodo looking good, keeping it scoreless. Still in the first period. 2-man advantage for St. Mike's. Tim Brent cross ice to Shane O'Brien, his 4th. 1-0 Majors after 1. Early third period now at Daryl Boyce down the sideboards out to Matt Seymour, his one-timer. Oh yeah, One time more for Seymour, and just like that, it's 2-0. This one physical as well. Greg Foster takes the pass, but Russ Moore levels him. Wow, huge hit, but not enough for Ottawa. As St. Mike's goes on to win it 2-1. They take a 2-0 series lead. Quioto, 45 saves in the win. To the NHL now, Tampa Bay looking to finish off the Caps in St. Louis. Speaking of St. Louis, it's actually in Washington. There is Martin St. Louis, and he looks good early on, as does Mr. Kolzig. Goalies would rule supreme in the first part of this game, looking good at both ends of the ice. First you saw Kolzig, now you see Happy Bulin, but finally the scoring would come. Here on the Capitals power play, it's Gonchar to Mr. Bondra. Bondra, one-timer, good to go. 1-0 Washington on his fourth. Bruce Cassidy's Capitals, 3-10 when facing elimination since 1990. Third period, lightning pressure. Richards stopped. Dave Andrzejczyk not stopped. We're tied at 1. Caps now look to end it. It's Gonchar to Long at the side of the net. Long longing for a goal, but Habibulin says, get out of here. Off to overtime we go. And in overtime, it would be Mr. St. Louis with the winner. So how about this? St. Louis scoring in Washington to give Tampa Bay a big victory. Martin St. Louis does it in triple overtime. How about the Jays and Red Sox in Boston? Hey, Jody Vance watching this one in Beantown. Watching Reed Johnson making his first major league start. Top of 3, 1-0 Toronto. Johnson with a base wrap. And that base wrap brings in his first Major League RBI. 2-0 Jays. Move to the bottom of the 7th now. It's 5-3 Toronto. Nomar Garciaparra doubling off the monster in left. Jason Varitek, Johnny Damon, they both come in to score. We're tied at 5, bottom of 9 now. Cliff Pollitt comes on, and this is not polite for Mr. Pollitt. Nomar goes deep. Red Sox win 6-5. That will do it for this quick update. We're back after the second period. Back to the OHL action right after this.
Hazel May, weekday mornings on Sportsnet News.
Hockey Central is the place to be throughout the playoffs, coming your way at 6 o'clock Eastern Time for the latest in the NHL postseason. And we've got more OHL playoff action for you next Sunday, April 27th. Right now, let's go downstairs and join John Druce. John.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Here is Steve Eminger, the Kitchener Rangers, a Washington Capitals draft pick. Good first period for you guys. After game 1, a disappointing first effort. What did you guys do to change and have such success in game 2, 6-1, and also a good start in this period?
You know, the key to our game is our forecheck, and I mean, that was lacking the first game. We just didn't get pucks in. We didn't pressure pucks, and you know, yesterday or in Plymouth last game, you know, we had our forecheck going. We had all 4 lines rolling, and you know, that was the key to our win.
Very important for you guys to have a good start here. But for you personally, coming back from Washington, you were there, you had an opportunity, a taste of the NHL. How did you find the transition coming back here to Kitchener, back to junior hockey?
It was pretty good. It actually worked out pretty good for me. I guess I kind of eased a bit easier going right to the World Juniors. So, I mean, playing against guys my age again made it a lot easier coming back to Kitchener.
Now, what did Washington say that they asked of you? What did you need to work on when you came back here? Pete DeBoer said you hired a trainer. Is that one of the key things?
Yeah, it was. You know, my upper body strength was one of the key things that they thought I was lacking. You know, handling 220-pounders out of the corners. You know, they just wanted me to get my strength up and, you know, play my normal game. I was only getting about 10, 12 minutes over there. Now I have a chance to, I mean, be on the power play, be on penalty kill, get about 25 minutes a night.
Well, you're looking great in this game. Good luck the rest of the way tonight's game. Thanks a lot. All right, back up to you, Kev.
Thanks very much, John. No score after 1 period of play here in Kitchener. Hey, hope the Easter Bunny was good to you, little one. No score in that first period, so naturally the play of the period turned in by the goaltender.
Scott Dickey coming up big in this period. Plymouth, 2 guys all alone out front. Steve Eminger must be paying off that working out that he's doing, because he clears the front of the net, doesn't give Carl Stewart another chance. But again, Scott Dickey does a terrific job. No score after 1.
The Ontario Hockey League on Sportsnet. Brought to you by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
They are celebrating 40 years of Ranger hockey here in Kitchener. And after one period of play, they see their home team tied up with the Plymouth Whalers. No score after this first period of play. And there are the shots on goal. We are getting set for the start of the second period. And the Rangers will have a very brief power play. They've got 8 seconds left on the penalty to Cole Jarrett. It is the third power play opportunity for the Kitchener Rangers. And as we mentioned, a much better start for the Rangers. But they did get a shorthanded goal in the game one. Were unable to crack the armor of Paul Druce. The second period is underway. Here's McGrath. He'll flip it in. And that's offside just as Cole Jarrett steps back on the ice. So the teams are at even strength.
It makes sense with Cole Jarrett on the ice, Derek Roy on the ice. That's a matchup that Mike Vellucci has been trying to get all series long.
10-7 the shots on goal in favor of Plymouth in that first period. 5 of them came on just one power play opportunity. Wisniewski takes a bump, turns it over. Here's Roy. Chad Larose trying to get his stick loose to get it out. Can't do it. McGrath takes a bump. Campbell trying to get it back to the point. It's picked off by Larose. Moving in with Vigilante. Drops it back for Larose. Chad Larose waits up top. Lipperton with the shot. And that one deflected high over top of the net. Wisniewski keeps it in. In behind the net is Mitchell. Mitchell with Vigilante and Larose. And Brad Beer almost thought about calling a penalty there. Here's Larose. Being watched by Halkitis. Larose trying to center it out in front. Now Derek Roy will go over and try and help out Mitchell, waiting for the puck to come loose. It does. Vigilante loses it to Roy. Plays it around the boards, and Gregory Campbell is waiting for it. Campbell trying to steer it ahead for McGrath. Evan McGrath will shoot it in deep. And that line is going to change up. Roy centers it out in front. McGrath trying to get a stick on it. Vigilante. And that is sent down the ice. And that will be icing.
Well, we found out that Kevin Hastings, our linesman who was injured earlier in the first period, is going to the hospital for some x-rays. He did actually go and try to skate around during the intermission, but I had a chance to talk with him. He said it just didn't feel very good at all. He wasn't very happy. He's very concerned about the way it felt.
Well, good news. Structurally, the knee is okay. There could be something wrong with the nerve as he got clipped as he sat on the boards. Well, he's going to go just in case. That puck comes right out in front, and Drew clears that away. Stewart for Fiedler. Johannes Fiedler moving in. Thorburn in there behind the net. He had a great chance in the first period. Kenko trying to move it out. Can't do it. Cole Jarrett will keep it in for the Whalers. Battle for that puck in the corner. Now a chance to get it out, and that's Benoit. Sends it down the ice. And again, the no-touch icing. It'll come back into the Kitchener end.
This Plymouth team is having a hard time getting some sustained forecheck in the offensive zone. They have the guns up there to do it, but they're not being able to get good puck support, have guys in there consistently creating some work down low in the offensive zone. That's where they thrive. That's where they want to have this game played. Both teams play so similar. It's almost like mirror image at both ends of the rink. But Plymouth is having a hard time getting that established.
And he's got Thorburn up front with Fiedler and Stewart. Chizek and Lipperton are on the blue line. Back to the point. Lipperton lets the shot go. That was blocked before it could get through by Clarkson. Martinowski moving in. He gets stopped. Comes back to the blue line. Eason trying to keep it in and does. Martinowski looking for Clarkson. Clarkson loses it. Roy trying to carry on. Back to the point it goes. Benoit with a shot. That didn't make it through as it hit Stewart, and Stewart ends up with the puck.
Let's take a look at the goaltenders. Both of these players had tremendous regular seasons. Paul Druce led the Ontario Hockey League with 2.49 goals against. Scott Dickey was third in the Ontario Hockey League. Dickey led with wins with 30. Paul Druce and Scott Dickey have been the two key guys to bring these teams to the level of play that they have during the regular season. They're just carrying it right over in the playoffs.
Well, these are the 1-2 teams in the Western Conference of the Ontario Hockey League. Kitchener ranked 3rd overall in the CHL. The Plymouth Whalers checked in at number 7. Kelowna Rockets of the Western Hockey League, the number 1 team in the Canadian Hockey League. And Baie-Comeau was number 2. Thad Wisniewski. Long cross-ice pass. Drop back. Weak shot by Boucher. Grenier trying to keep it in. He's with Thompson. Thompson battles for the puck, gets it back to Grenier. Sestito moving it in for Thompson. In behind the net, and it's picked up by Andre Benoit, and he'll move it out to Adam Keefe. Boucher moving in, he gets stopped, and back the other way. Here comes Sestito. Tim Sestito for the Plymouth Whalers. Pick of the Washington Capitals. Now here's Evan McGrath moving in with Derek Roy. Roy with a chance, and he gets the hook from Cole Jarrett. And Jarrett is going to head to the penalty box.
Derek Roy puts a lot of pressure on, uses his speed, forces Jarrett to take a penalty just by putting pressure on, keeping his legs moving. Roy jumps up in the play. Jarrett just too far behind. Pulls Roy off of his feet. Nice play by Evan McGrath to draw the defenseman over to him, but left the lane open for Roy to drive down the other side of the ice. 4th power play for the Rangers. Alkitis to Eminger. Eminger fakes the shot, throws it through, deflected into the corner. Kenko will pick it up there. In behind the net, Onabegon. Onabegon with Kenko out in front. Instead, that's picked off and fired down the ice. Alkitis back to pick it up. Moving up now. Centered out in front for Onabegon. He's up there with Mike Richards and Peter Kenko. Puck comes loose, and that allows Jonas Fiedler to come away shorthanded, and he'll flip a bouncing puck, and it's scooped up by Scott Dickey. 12-8, the shots on goal in favor of the Plymouth Whalers. 1:12 to go in the man advantage, and that's a lucky break as the stick prevented that puck from being icing, but we've got an offside at the blue line. That was a lucky break.
Don't forget that Sportsnet News is coming up, and Peter Labardius and RJ Broadhead will man the desk. It's coming up after our game here. They'll get you caught up on the complete recap of the day in sports. 1:05 to go in the man advantage. Benoit to Eminger. He'll fire it in around the boards. Waiting for it with Wisniewski. Chops at it. Gets it back to the point. Benoit there to keep it in. Eminger at the far side. Hangs onto it. Takes a shot. And that went up and off the stick of Thompson into the netting.
We see Gregory Campbell and Ryan Ramsey were traded for each other. Ramsey was an ex-Kitchener Ranger. He's not in the lineup in tonight's game. He has a hip pointer, so he's missed. Greg Campbell, these two guys traded for very specific roles. They needed a centerman to play. Ramsey's very good at passing the puck. Campbell good on the power play and a grinder. Excellent for both teams.
And again, the puck deflected up into the netting. Campbell played 2 years with the Plymouth Whalers and had 19 goals, 48 assists, and 67 points in his time in Michigan.
And when you look at that trade initially, I actually asked the coaches, why would you make that trade? Because of specifics, and that exactly, Ryan Ramsey has stepped up. He had 87 points during the regular season, and Gregory Campbell did a terrific job on the power play, so they filled both positions that they needed filled.
Campbell out there on this power play that has 33 seconds left on it. Back to the point, Benoit quickly over to Eminger, being watched by Chad Larose, throws it towards the net, and that may have hit the side of the net. Roy keeping it in. Wisniewski watching him. Derek Roy comes up with the puck. Roy back up top. Benoit over to Eminger. It hops over his stick. Larose quickly on him as he sends it around behind the net. Kenko centers it out in front. And it's picked off, and Larose able to get it down the ice. 5 seconds left in the man advantage. Here's Kitchener, who's generated 2 shots in the way of Paul Druce so far. The penalty is over. Cole Jarrett out of the penalty box. There's a chance now for Roy. Derek Roy moving in. Takes the shot, and that one didn't miss by much. Derek Roy, 4 goals in the postseason with 18 points. Being watched right now by Cheever. Ties him up in the corner. Clarkson trying to help him out, but Roy does it himself. The captain comes up with the puck, looking in front for Halkitis. And he was checked at the last second. As Fiedler got a stick down. Clarkson in the corner now. In the corner, battling with Nate Kaiser. Comes loose, back up top. Halkitis with a shot that hit Jonas Fiedler. Now here's Carl Stewart. Good wheels, he fires it into the corner. Fiedler. Thorburn parks himself out in front. Stewart in there after that loose puck. Eminger comes up with it, wins the battle, and takes a hit from Carl Stewart. Thorburn throwing his weight around to keep it in as he hit Clarkson. Stewart given a bump by Richards. Halkitis comes up with the puck. He'll give it to Martinowski, and he'll get it down the ice. Tipped in by Stewart. Dickey will play it himself off the glass. Play continues. The Eminger was dumped. Here's Clarkson. He'll fire it in. Into the corner, quick to get to it. Richards in behind the net. Helped out by Clarkson. Centers it out in front. Halkitis, good job to keep it in at the blue line. Richards and Thorburn battling for it. Back pass. Martinowski. He turns, gets the backhand, and it's tipped over top of the net. Wisniewski trying to chop it into the corner, can't do it, comes out in front. Livingston clears it into the corner, and Chad Larose comes up with it. Quick pass to Carl Stewart. Wines, fires a long shot, and that one goes off the glass, and we've got a penalty coming up. We'll come back with a power play right after this.
David Clarkson in the penalty box for tripping. After a tremendous shift he had forechecking, he was back checking on Chad Larose. Right here, takes him down on the play. Now Plymouth finds himself in the power play. A good shift, but you have to be responsible. Let that guy go to the defenseman.
Second power play for the Plymouth Whalers. Cole Jarrett takes the shot. And it gets caught up in the sweater of Steve Eminger.
Willing to sacrifice, get the body in front of the puck. Some goaltenders don't like it when a player does that, but how can you complain when somebody's sacrificing their body?
12 shots for the Plymouth Whalers. It would have been 13 except for Steve Eminger. Well, we'll see if this second-ranked power play for the Plymouth Whalers, who generated 5 shots in their first chance. They go to work here, and here's the quarterback, Wisniewski. Up to Thorburn. Thorburn moving in, wrist shot. Dickey the save, and he couldn't control it. In behind the net. Stewart trying to center it out in front. Comes back to the point. Jarrett will keep it in to Wisniewski. Chad Larose with it now. Being watched by Eminger. Larose walks his way in, bouncing puck in front, got behind Thorburn. That allows Campbell to get to it, and he'll fire it down the ice. Larose up front with Stewart and Thorburn. Jarrett and Wisniewski on the blue line. Back up top to Wisniewski. Wisniewski, wrist shot. And that one blocked before it could get through, and Eminger's away. He's got Campbell with him. Moves in slowly, centering pass for Campbell. Jarrett watching him, but Campbell comes up with a puck. Throws it right out in front. Here's a chance now. Quick shot. Richards will let that go, and it was blocked before it could get through. Richards up front now with Kanko. Eminger and Halkitis on the blue line for the Rangers. 40 seconds to go in the man advantage. Wisniewski will bring it to center. Gets it to Jarrett. Jarrett Throws it out in front. Here's a chance. Quick shot. Vigilante. Larose now with a chance. Dickey the save. They bang away. It's still loose. And Scott Dickey reaches out and grabs it and gets the whistle.
That has to be the biggest save of the game. Nice patience. The puck gets across. Vigilante takes a shot, but this is a goal scorer right here. Patience with the puck, waiting and waiting till the goaltender goes down. Just fanned on it, and Dickey got a piece of it. Chad Larose will not miss too many of those plays. Right there, Dickey's patient. Scrambling around, swimming out there, trying to pull that thing in.
3 shots on goal for the Plymouth Whalers in this power play that has 18 seconds remaining. And you can see why Scott Dickey is a 1.89 goals against coming into this hockey game.
He gets across the crease very quickly and took away the ice for Vigilante initially, but the rebound went right to Larose. Good 2 shots for Plymouth, but still can't put it behind the goaltender.
Chad Larose looking for his team-leading 9th goal in the postseason. 12 seconds left to go in the man advantage as Dave Clarkson is in the penalty box for tripping. Mitchell with Fiedler and Vigilante. Here's Vigilante. Gets it back to the point. One shot by Kaiser. Big save by Dickey. Kaiser gets it again. Another shot bounces towards the net, and Dickey gets the glove hand on it, and he'll make the save. We'll come back with more right after this. You rise, Hazel shines. Get you caught up on the night before every weekday morning from 6 a.m. till 1 p.m. That's Hazel May on Sportsnet News. Here, there's 8 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the second period. Kevin Quinn working alongside John Druce and the Sportsnet production crew from Kitchener, Ontario. Game 3 of the Western Conference Final between the Rangers and the Whalers. Still looking for our first goal of this hockey game. 17-12, the shots on goal in favor of the Whalers. And Scott Dickey has had to come up with some big saves in this second period.
Well, in this series, the second period has been a big period for both teams, but Scott Dickey has been outstanding, is blocking all chances that have come his way. Plymouth has been putting a tremendous amount of pressure in front of the goaltender. Right here, the last save on Larose. He does whatever it takes, sacrifices his body to make the big stops, but the second period for both these teams, 7 of the 11 goals scored in this series have been in the second period.
Nothing so far as Wisniewski let that soft shot go, and Dickey decides to hang on to it. Well, 7 goals between these two teams in Game 2 on Friday in Plymouth. And 4 in the first game, a 3-1 victory for the Plymouth Whalers. And you can see what Scott Dickey has done so far in this hockey game. Sestino with a shotgun. That one gets deflected over top of the net. Thompson will keep it in. Sends it in around behind the net. Sestino being watched by Harrison. Well, the battles for those loose pucks become even more important now as we look for that first goal. 8 minutes, 10 seconds to go here in the second period. Jimmy Gagnon in the corner for the Whalers. He loses that puck, and Andre Benoit comes up with it. Grenier moving in. Takes the shot. Adam Keefe heading for the front of the net. He gets ridden off by Nate Kaiser. Clear but not out. Boucher trying to keep it in. Sends it around behind the net. And Keefe throwing his weight around as he runs into Lipperton. Back the other way. Grenier moving in. Grenier. He's ridden off by TJ Eason. That allows George Alcides to come up to the puck, and the Rangers able to come out. Here's Adam Keefe. Moving it up the center. Now this line, John, had some good chances in the first period.
They were matched up against Jimmy Gagnon's line, and they just changed.
And there's a goal. O'Navigon let it go. Paul Drew got a piece of it, but not enough. And there's our first goal of the hockey game. Nathan O'Navigon gets his 7th goal of the postseason.
Right off the bench, the line change. He jumps on and gets the puck. It's a good, clean change. Looks like Drew has that one. It just sneaks through between his glove and the leg of his pad. But a nice shot by O'Navigon. Good composure to get that puck. Squeaks, hits the glove. You think he's got it in the trapper, but it just gets through. And O'Navigon with a big shot.
Well, you talked about the importance of the goals for both these teams happening in the second period, and we get our first one with 7:21 to go in the period from Nathan Onadigan. He had a goal in game 2. And he's got his 7th of the series in the postseason here tonight.
Well, one of the things with Paul Druce that has been a big factor for him in the games that he has played, he's been very poised and doesn't panic when he gets scored upon. Mike Vellucci says that's one of the things that has been the solidifying factor in his plays, because he doesn't get down, he refocuses, and it doesn't affect him.
TJ Eason picking up the only assist on the goal by Onadigan. That's his first point of the postseason at 12:39. And we'll see how the Plymouth Whalers react here on the road. They have been an outstanding road team. They have not lost a game in the postseason away from their home in Plymouth. 6 minutes, 51 seconds to go here in the second period. The crowd is into this one. Onadigan, he's out there on the ice again. Back the other way. Here's a chance for Larose now. Moving in. Larose gets hauled down. And the net comes off the moorings. And a hooking call. But no penalty shot.
Goal scorers seem to find a lane right from the neutral zone. He was turning back up ice when he saw the turnover, and he had a good step on Peter Kanko. You can see Kanko using his wheels to get back and throw him off the play. It's a good back-checking effort, gets that stick underneath of Larose, doesn't give him an opportunity to get a clean shot on net.
Well, Plymouth will go on the power play for the 3rd time in this hockey game. They have gotten 8 of their 20 shots so far have come with the man advantage. And a big chance to get right back in this hockey game. From the faceoff, Wisniewski throws it towards the net, and that one did miss by much, with Carl Stewart parking himself out in front. Wisniewski and Jarrett will be on the blue line. Up front, Stewart, Thorburn, and Larose. Here's a giveaway, scores! Gregory Campbell, short-handed goal. It's 2-0 for Kitchener.
That's 2 short-handed goals in this building versus Plymouth in the last 2 games here in Kitchener. Good hard effort by Gregory Campbell to come in and forecheck and put pressure on Druce, make him play the puck. Wisniewski wants to reverse it to his partner, but Campbell read the play nicely and picks up that loose puck. You can see the pressure he's putting on. Wisniewski goes to reverse it, but short bounces it right on the stick of Campbell.
Gregory Campbell now with 10 goals in the postseason. That leads his team. And a quick response. Once they got the first goal at 12:39, they come right back and get a goal a minute later from Gregory Campbell.
Just hard work by Gregory Campbell getting down the ice. And Paul Druce makes a nice fake. Wisniewski had all kinds of time to hang on to that puck and carry it up the ice. Because Campbell put so much pressure on him, he made him make a pass that he didn't want to make.
The former Plymouth Whaler gives his new team a 2-goal lead. Still 1:14 to go in the man advantage for the Whalers. But they're down by 2. Vigilante and Fiedler work it back to Mitchell. Mitchell steps into a shot. And a big save by Dickey. He'll hang on with Fiedler right there on the doorstep.
This game is brought to you by Via Rail Canada. The renaissance of passenger rail has begun. More trains, faster trains, and better services. Make Via Rail your choice for travel.
Kitchener Rangers have scored 3 shorthanded goals in the postseason so far. 56 seconds remaining in the power play for the Plymouth Whalers. Their 3rd. Mike Richards gets the puck. He'll send it out. He's up front with Grenier. Nate Kaiser. Pass looking for Mitchell, and it was picked off nicely there by Steve Eminger, and he'll fire it back down towards the Plymouth end where Kaiser picks it up. Jonas Fiedler looking for the pass, picked off by Grenier, and he'll backhand it in. 30 seconds left in the man advantage. And now the Whalers with a sense of urgency to get back in this hockey game with 4 minutes, 57 seconds remaining in the second period. Vigilante swooping in. Mitchell back up top. Kaiser gives it right back to him. Mitchell Vigilante. Jonas Fiedler has parked himself out in front. Mitchell sends it around behind the net. Eminger takes a bump from Fiedler. Vigilante after it, but Benoit watching him. Penalty is over, teams at even strength. Well, the Rangers kill off the penalty and get a shorthanded goal, and there's a long shot by Kaiser. And Dickey makes the save. We'll be back to Kitchener right after this.
Here's a look at the 2 goal scorers, Gregory Campbell, Nathan Onabagon. It's amazing what a couple goals will do for the crowd.
The wave has started here. Kitchener being outshot by the Whalers, but they have a 2-0 lead. Here's Cole Jarrett now moving in. Jarrett still has the puck, takes the shot through a crowd, and it was blocked by George Alkitis. Well, the son of NHL disciplinarian Coley Campbell. Gregory Campbell has his team up 2-0 with a shorthanded goal. McGrath sends it off the boards. Here's Derek Roy now moving in with Campbell. Roy knocked down by Jarrett. Campbell in behind the net. Sends it down deep. Jarrett gets to it ahead of McGrath, who pokes it. Thorburn working against Roy. Roy centers it out in front. And Larose is there to pick it up for the Whalers. Moving in with Carl Stewart. Here's Larose. Snaps his shot. And that didn't make it through. Kept in by Stewart. Sends it into the corner. Squirts loose. Eminger comes up with it. Stewart watching him. Knocks him down. Play continues. Stewart quick to the puck. Centers it out in front. Here's Kaiser up top. Lets the shot go. And that was blocked. McGrath will bounce it off the boards and get it out to center. 3 minutes, 27 seconds to go here in the second period.
You see the urgency here for Plymouth. Mike Vellucci changes line combination. Larose out there with Thorburn and Stewart trying to get something created, get the top guns out on the ice and maybe get a goal late here in the second period to get them close, within one at least.
3:20 to go here in the second period. They've had some chances. They've gotten enough shots, but Scott Dickey has been perfect so far. Cleared down into the Plymouth end, and that will be icing. Game 4 in this series goes in Plymouth on Tuesday. They'll be back here in Kitchener for Game 5 on Thursday.
Here's a look at Martin Chizik. It's a Buffalo draft pick. He's one of the 5th and 6th defensemen on this team. Doesn't get a lot of ice time. But this Plymouth team is very deep. They have quality players. Obviously, they're deep when they have a drafted player that's on the 5th and 6th defensive pairing.
97 points during the regular season. 3rd best in the OHL. Kitchener was number 1. Ottawa was number 2. And then the Plymouth Whalers. But they're down by 2 here in Game 3. Benoit takes a bump from Thompson. Sestito trying to help him out. Centered out in front and gets by Kaiser. Wisniewski off the boards and back into the Ranger end. Eason, Benoit. Tips it ahead. Here's Adam Keefe. Drops it back for Boucher. Boucher moving in, trying to get a shot away. Wisniewski was there defensively. Thompson off the skate of Sestito. Keefe back the other way. He'll give it to Jesse Boucher. Gets it back again. Keefe with a shot. And Drew comes up with a save there. Grenier in the corner. Checked by Jimmy Gagnon. Got a hold of his stick as Boucher comes in and throws his weight around. And he hits Cole Jarrett. Gagnon and Boucher battle for the puck. Boucher goes down. Lefty sends it around the boards. And here's Vigilante. Flips it into the corner. Jarrett moving up from his defensive position. He gets taken into the boards, trying to kick it loose to Vigilante. Vigilante still has the puck. Back up top it goes. Here's a chance now for Chizik. Chizik trying to drop it back. That didn't work. A minute 35 to go here in the second period. Mitchell in behind the net. Being watched by Mike Richards. Mitchell still has it. Sends into the corner. And Eminger will give it to Halkitis. He'll use the glass. Trying to get it by Mitchell. And Mitchell forced to retreat. Jonas Fiedler moving in, but Eminger comes up with the puck. Steve Eminger off the glass and down into the Plymouth end. And again, that's going to be icing against the Kitchener Rangers.
Steve Eminger has been put in a defensive role. He has the ability to play offensively, but the one thing that is very important for this team is that everybody falls into the game plan, and you would think Steve Eminger coming back from Washington would lead his team in scoring, but he's been more responsible in the defensive end of the ice. Andre Benoit has been one of the top goal scorers for the defense. Marcus Smith, who was hurt earlier in this game, they miss him. But Steve Eminger is that solidifying factor that Pete DeBoer said earlier in the season could be the difference between making it all the way or not.
Played 23 games during the regular season for the Rangers and had 29 points. And so far in this postseason, Steve Eminger has 6 points, got his first goal of the playoffs in Game 2 on Friday night in Plymouth in a 6-1 win. Just over a minute to go here in the second period. The Rangers up by 2. Both goals coming here in the second period. Moving it out. Here's Campbell. He's on the ice. The goal scorer along with Richards and Roy. Less than a minute to go in the second period. Mike Richards gets knocked down in the corner. Campbell throwing his weight around. Shoots the puck in. Cross ice pass. Derek Roy with a shot there. That one missed the target. Carl Stewart takes the pump from Campbell and is able to get it out to center. Eminger will give it to George Halkitis. He'll fire in a shot, rims it around the glass. Campbell waiting for it. He'll take a bump from Lipton. Thorburn in the corner as well against Richards. Campbell comes up with a puck. Campbell throws it out in front. Picked up by Chad Larose. Back the other way come the Plymouth Whalers with Thorburn. Larose, long shot. That one missed. And that'll come all the way out to Richards at center. He's got Roy with him. Mike Richards winds, fires his shot, then that was blocked before it could get through by Leviton. 7 seconds to go in the second period. Halkitis bounces it down into the Plymouth end. And what has been an outstanding period for the Plymouth Whalers. They got 2 goals in just a minute. One of them shorthanded, and they lead by 2. We'll be back to Kitchener with more. You're watching the playoffs here on Sportsnet.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Sportsnet studios. I'm Jason Portuondo. More hockey in a second, but first, we're going to hoop it up. NBA playoff action, Lakers, Minnesota. Kevin Garnett and company taking on the 3-time defending champion LA Lakers. Second quarter, Lakes up by 10, and they're going to continue to jump because Kobe, he got game. Misses the tray, but gets the ball, and his pass to Big Daddy is thrown down. Shaq doing his thing, Lakes by 12. They're up by 14, more from Kobe, going high off the glass over Garnett. That's high. They were up 14 at the break. Third quarter, T-Wolves battling back. Garnett outside Jay, count it. Lead now down to 7. Fourth quarter, though, Lakers put it away. Kobe driving, and that's just vicious. Over Mark Jackson, Lakers go on to win it. As you take a look, by 19. Magic Pistons game 1. Ben Wallace playing despite a knee injury. Pistons need him to try and stop T-Mac. First quarter, McGrady going baseline. Check out the reverse, looking like MJ, just hanging in the air. Magic by 4. LeBron James saying, wow, that's pretty good. The kid was amused. Second quarter, McGrady driving. Finishes with the huge jam. The facial plus the foul. Magic by 1. Fourth quarter. McGrady inside, McGrady outside. The arc, you do the math. Magic by 8. McGrady then working it down low, using both hands off the glass, finishing with 43. Magic by 11. Doc Rivers loving it. Magic winning by 5. Michael Schumacher and his brother Ralph share the front row at today's San Marino Grand Prix in Italy. Now, the duo raced with heavy hearts in this one, finding out just a few hours before the start of the race their 55-year-old mother, Elizabeth, had succumbed to illness. Both Ralph and Michael deciding, though, still to compete in today's race. All Schumacher front row, Michael on the pole, but it's his brother Ralph and his Williams who gets the best start and the lead. However, Ralph is the first to pit. Trouble engaging first gear cost him precious time. A lap later, Michael pits, gets back on track in front of Ralph. Ferrari and Williams on 3-stop strategies, McLaren on 2. As a result, Kimi Räikkönen takes the lead. Now, Jacques Villeneuve's race lasted only 20 laps. Hydraulic problems ending his day. He finished last. Pit stop number 2 for Michael. He gets back on track just ahead of Räikkönen. Late in the race now, Rubens Barrichello finally gets by Ralf Schumacher to take over third. At the finish, it's Michael Schumacher winning ahead of Räikkönen and Barrichello for his first victory of the year, but no big celebration in this one. A rather subdued podium with no champagne as Michael mourns the loss of his mother. Ralph came in fourth. By the way, Michael's victory was his 65th of his career. That will do it for this quick update. Back to the hockey after this. Enjoy the third period.
Jamie Campbell and Brad Fay, weeknights on Sportsnet Live.
Best place to be for the NHL playoffs is Hockey Central, brought your way every day at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. And more OHL playoff action comes your way next Sunday, April the 27th. Right now, let's join John Druce. John.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Here with Chad Larose of the Plymouth Whalers. Chad, not the second period that you guys expected to have. Kitchener has done their damage in the second period against you guys. What do you have to do to solve these guys and get on the scoreboard?
Well, we really got to get a forecheck going in there and take a lot of shots at Dickey. I mean, he's a tough goalie, and I mean, you got to get one to get two. You know what I mean? So you got to get one and get the ball rolling, and we just got to get a forecheck going.
Now, you yourself, you had a couple good chances in the second period. 61 goals during the regular season. Your previous best was 32. What have you done to work on your game to improve the goal outputs by so much?
Well, I mean, a lot of it's work ethic and, you know, my stamina, and I'm trying to keep in shape this year, and, you know, that's a big part of it, and I'm playing with a couple good line mates, and that helps out too, you know, and things click sometimes, and sometimes they don't, you know.
All right, Chad, thank you very much for that. Good luck in the third period. All right, Kev.
Thanks a lot.
Well, 2 goals in the second period, just 1 minute apart. Nathan O'Navigon and Gregory Campbell doing the damage. Campbell's goal shorthanded. We'll be back after this. Time now for the play of the period, brought to you by CCM, when you're born to play.
Kitchener gets their second shorthanded goal of the series. Gregory Campbell puts pressure on James Wisniewski behind the net and forces him to make a pass that he doesn't. A nice spin around shot by Campbell, puts it in behind Drew, but this is where the pressure's on. Wisniewski could have skated out with it all by himself. Campbell finds himself with the second goal of the game. After 2-0 Kitchener.
Trying to support the team, you know. Face painter here in Kitchener. His team up by 2 after 40 minutes of hockey, and it didn't take long for the Rangers to put 2 up on the boards, just 1 minute apart.
Plymouth struggled to get the puck on net because Scott Dickey was a key goaltender in this game so far. In the second period, Plymouth had some key chances, makes 2 big saves, especially on the 61 goal scorer, Chad Larose. But this is where things get started. Navigon right off the bench and gets it off the glove of Paul Drew, and then a shorthanded marker by Gregory Campbell chases down that puck, puts the pressure on, and finds himself with a nice turnover and a good spin around move to go ahead by 2.
And take a look now as Weber is in the nets for the Plymouth Whalers. Jeff Weber, who relieved Paul Drew in game 2 in the third period. And he does not have a lot of experience.
It's a tough position for him to be in, especially in a building like Kitchener where it's excited. I don't know if they should have made a goaltending change myself. My opinion is they're only down by 2 goals. They have to give themselves an opportunity, and who better to have in the net than the guy that got them to this position as far as they have in the playoffs.
2 goals on 15 shots for Paul Drew, but he is on the sidelines right now as Jeff Weber will try and keep his team in it and give them a chance to come back. Jarrett again is going to be called, and Cole Jarrett will head to the penalty box for the 3rd time in this hockey game.
Well, Jarrett did the same thing in game 1 in this building. He took some penalties. Fortunately, they got away with it, but it's starting to affect this team. He gets hooked a little bit, then grabs onto a Navigon. There's the holding call. You find himself in the penalty box. Kitchener now has an opportunity to put this out of reach.
Just 22 seconds into the period, Kitchener will go on their 5th man advantage. Halkitis and Eminger will start on the blue line for the Rangers. Kenko up front with Richards. And O'Navigon, who got things started. Here's Kenko. 4 points in game 2. Number 9 stops on the half boards. Cross ice pass. Quick shot. Halkitis that missed the net, and I'm sure they're trying to get pucks on net right away on Jeff Weber. Kenko trying to keep it in, can't do it. Eminger will go back. He'll start again right at the blue line. He'll flip it in. Mike Richards going after it, gets to it first. Kanko's out in front. Kanko parks himself in front, and pass comes back up top. Halkitis will keep it in. Thompson first to it in the corner, sends it around the boards. Eminger will keep it in at the blue line. Now it comes loose, and Kaiser able to get it down the ice. He was looking for Larose, moving in by himself. Here's Larose. He touches it and across 2 lines.
Good chance by Larose. Let's take a look at the road to the final. 4 teams left in the playoffs. St. Michael's Majors up by 2 games. They're did a tremendous job against Ottawa in Ottawa and then playing in their home building. That's a tough rink to win in. And right here, the game we're watching today is tied at 1, but Kitchener up by 2.
Shut out the Ottawa 67s in their own building on Friday night 3-0, and then won the game 2-1 today. Well, the Majors surprising people. Roy trying to center it out in front. And there's 44 seconds left to go in the man advantage.
Kitchener struggled on the power play all night long. Plymouth does a good job getting on top of the players on the power play. Don't give them time to pass the puck, make clean passes. They are not getting very many shots from the point to the net. Therefore, not having guys like Campbell, who's effective out front, getting the tips and getting rebounds.
Penalty killing for Plymouth was ranked 11th in the postseason coming in. Benoit up for Derek Roy. Out in front, McGrath trying to get a shot away. That was blocked, ends up in behind the net. Campbell's looking for it. Comes back up top, Andre Benoit with Eminger. Here's Steve Eminger, lets the shot go, and that gets deflected just wide. Evan McGrath plays it back to Campbell, back up top for Eminger. 19 seconds to go in the man advantage. Gregory Campbell in behind the net, being watched by Kaiser. Gives it to Roy, back up top it comes. Here's Eminger, Eminger out in front. Campbell, he can't get the shot away, still has it though. He'll give it to McGrath. McGrath back to Campbell. There's a backhand that missed the target. Penalty is now over, and another penalty coming up. And Roy got rocked right in front, and he is still down.
Well, he doesn't. Coming through the crease, Roy gets whacked by the goaltender as he's coming through the crease right there. Stick catches him up the right side of the body. Nice play by Campbell getting the puck to the net, but here it is right there. Gets a stick up on Roy, and that's the penalty.
Well, Jeff Weber in this game in relief of Paul Druce, making his presence felt, but not in a good way for the Plymouth Whalers. And Derek Roy is heading slowly over to the bench.
Beat the board, taking advantage of this, giving his team a little power in front of the bench. Little chalk talk.
And the 6th power play opportunity coming up for the Kitchener Rangers. And the Plymouth Whalers have found themselves shorthanded early here and haven't played 3 minutes. You know, Jonas Fiedler will go over and serve the penalty for Jeff Weber. And again, a great opportunity for the Rangers to really put the nail in the coffin. With the man advantage, 2 for 7 in game number 2 on Friday in Plymouth. Eminger and Benoit up top. Here's Eminger with a shot that was blocked by Kaiser before it could get through. Kanko up top. Here's Peter Kanko moving in. Kanko still has it. Lets the shot go, and that didn't miss by much. Richards in behind the net, centers it out in front, and that pass is picked off and sent down the ice by Tim Sestito.
Nice move by Kanko, showing confidence with the puck when he hangs up. That's why he's been the best player in this series. He takes the puck hard to the net.
Here's a chance now for Clarkson moving in. Dave Clarkson out in front. Kanko in. How did he miss that? Carl Stewart back defensively, but a great chance for Kanko. He's another chance, and that shot missed the target. 1:20 to go in the man advantage. Eminger keeps it in at the blue line. Eminger, one-time shot there by Richards, and he didn't get good wood on it, and that allows Wisniewski to send it the length of the ice.
Well, Kanko will be having nightmares about missing that one. He had the whole wide open net and threw it through the crease off to the far side. Not even short side, off to the far side.
2 goals, 2 assists in game 2 Friday night. Dickey out of his net to play it, and he put it right into the seats.
Kanko makes a nice move on the first chance that he had. Pulls it by, gets a nice wrist shot, just shoots it a bit wide. And this second chance, wide open. Nice pass by Clarkson over to the far side. Kanko feeling a little bit of pressure, rushes himself. Stewart doing a good job trying to get back and do whatever he can.
Well, Dickey got a delay of game penalties. He tried to clear that puck. He put it over top of the glass. So with 53 seconds left in their power play, now we'll have 4-on-4 hockey. With 16:30 to go here in regulation time. Cheese it. They'll chase it back. Nate Kaiser is with him on the blue line. Mitchell and Vigilante up front for the Whalers. Hanko stays out there for the Rangers along with Mike Richards. Benoit and Halkidis on the blue line for Kitchener. Richards trying to get away from Mitchell. Hanko knocks that puck down, but Vigilante will get it out. Vigilante gets himself some room, gets by Richards. Vigilante moving in, crosses the blue line, still has it. He stops, throws it towards the net. Mitchell is there. Halkidis ties him up. Sees it. Trying to center it out in front, being watched by Benoit. Richards chucks at it, they get it by Vigilante. 7 seconds left to go in the penalty to Jeff Weber. And then the Plymouth Whalers will go on their 4th power play, and it begins right now on a short one with 1:03 left on it. Well, the Whalers have done a good job of getting pucks to the net. And Dickey on the power play, they've generated 9 shots and 4 chances.
If any time there is a chance for them to get in this game, this would be it. Plymouth has done a terrific job on the power play. They get the puck to the net, they get traffic, and Dickey could have opened the door to get one goal to get them within 1.
Well, the goaltenders each take penalties, and now Plymouth with the man advantage. 54 seconds left in it. Larose moves it in. Stewart sending it out in front. Wisniewski at the point with Cole Jarrett. Jarrett will send it in to the corner. Stewart being worked over by Halkidis. Corbin looking for the puck as well. Squirts loose. Larose trying to get it back to Jarrett. And a good job defensively by Roy. He's got Campbell with him. Here's Roy again shorthanded. A good play there by Wisniewski. Jarrett back the other way to Chad Larose. Larose crosses the blue line. He'll stop there. Larose throws it out in front. Gets picked off by Eminger. Still loose. Banging away at it. Another chance. Stewart can't put it home. Wisniewski now moving in. Centering pass. Larose with a shot. And that was blocked by Eminger. Stewart in the corner. Working against Roy. Back to Larose. Here's Chad Larose side of the net for Thorburn. Hopped over his stick. Carl Stewart in behind the net. Still has it. Back up top. Jarrett throws it at the net. Scores! Power play goal. The Plymouth Whalers have cut the lead in half.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. You open the door by taking a penalty. Scott Dickey did not mean to shoot that puck over the glass. By no means, you know that. But this shot by Cole Jarrett, just a good wrist shot. Traffic out front, making it difficult for Dickey to see that puck. Jarrett has one of the best wrist shots in the league from the point, and he shows it right there in that goal.
His 4th goal of the postseason, the draft pick of the Columbus Blue Jackets. And now the Plymouth Whalers have 9 power play goals in 7 road games. And they're right back into this hockey game. So Jarrett with his 9th point of the postseason and a huge goal to cut the lead in half at 5:28. Well, a shorthanded goal they gave up, and a power play goal gets them right back in it. Adam Keefe out there now in the corner trying to work it out in front. Kaiser gives him a bump. Keefe won't give up though. Boucher looking for it. It comes loose. Bouncing puck, and it's cleared up, and Thompson's got it. With Sestito. He'll flip it into the corner. Tim Sestito going after it. And he knocks down TJ Eason. Thompson in behind the net. Trying to get it out in front. And it's picked off, and Boucher back the other way, and a penalty coming up. The Plymouth Whalers in behind the play. Net is empty. And when we come back, the Kitchener Rangers will go on the power play here in Kitchener.
Sean Thompson in the penalty box for high sticking. Behind the play at the bottom of the screen, you can see that Thompson will come around. He's being tackled by Grenier, but he'll turn around and a cross check across the face. The referee called it high sticking, but that definitely cross checking across the face. That is not discipline. They can't have that. They come within 1 goal, and now they find themselves killing another penalty.
7th power play opportunity for the Rangers with 13:28 to go here in the 3rd period of a 2-1 game. Back up top. Halkidis with Eminger. Campbell Kanko and Roy up front for the Rangers. Roy to Campbell. In behind the net, Kanko sees it go by him on the dasher. Wisniewski watching him. Wisniewski trying to get it out and does as he fights him off and sends it out.
Wisniewski's made a couple key plays here in this period. A good poke check on Roy, and that play outworking along the boards, winning the battles.
Here's Roy getting around. Cole Jarrett out in front, takes a shot, scores! Derek Roy, power play goal. It's 3-1.
Derek Roy showing how dynamic of a player he can be, how he can change the momentum of a game. He'll pick this puck up and hesitates, makes a beautiful move on Jarrett, and then takes it right to the net, showing a lot of courage, cutting in front and stuffing it in behind Weber. He sees it, he takes a look, analyzes the situation. Wisniewski is coming back on the play. Right there, you have to knock that guy on his backside and take him out of the play. That hesitation gave Roy that room to come across and score.
Second round draft pick of the Buffalo Sabres in 2001. Picks up his 5th goal of the postseason. 19th point. That leads his team. And the Rangers restore their 2-goal lead. 7 chances with a man advantage, and they capitalize. Back the other way. Fiedler lets the shot go, and that gets deflected up into the netting.
Jonas Fiedler has been one key guy for this team that has really stepped up in the playoffs. 5 goals he has. He only scored 7 in the regular season. Mike Vellucci says he will be an NHL player. He's a draft pick of San Jose, and he says he's probably the best one-on-one battler along the boards that this team has.
Roy picks up the goal from Kanko and Halkitis. Kanko now with 11 assists in the postseason. Halkitis gets his 12th. Rangers looking for more. Thorburn, he has been quiet in this hockey game, as the Rangers have done a good job of shutting down number 19. There's a chance out in front, and Weber gets shoved. Play continues, and it comes up to Carl Stewart. Stewart at center. He's got Thorburn with him, and Cheezer takes the shot. And Dickey hangs onto it with a crowd gathering.
Not a bad play by Dickey. Hanging on to the puck after throwing the puck over the glass. You want to make sure that you're safe. But he loves it when he's on Sportsnet. He's been so successful. He's been on a few times and making the save right here on the puck, hanging on to it, no rebounds. He always plays well when we're in town.
It's the opposite of the Sports Illustrated curse. Wisniewski trying to get a shot away. That is blocked. He gets it back again. Another shot. That doesn't make it through. Bouncing puck in the corner. Testito with Jimmy Gagnon working in the corner against Andre Benoit. Back up top with Wisniewski with a shot in the quick glove hand there by Scott Dickey. And then Gagnon goes right into him, and that draws a crowd.
That's Jimmy Gagnon's role. Jimmy Gagnon's role is to get in the other team's face, throw them off their game. He's a character guy. They picked him up from the Peterborough Petes because of his character in the locker room as well as on the ice. But a good shot from the point, and he's not stopping. There you go. Little extra shove into the goaltender.
Well, he is a hometown boy, Gagnon from Kitchener.
Well, he's leading the playoffs with 40 PIMs coming into this game. But just in your face, you know, there's a lot of guys that you hate to play against. He's one of them.
11 minutes, 23 seconds to go here in regulation time. The Rangers try to take a 2-1 lead in the series with Game 4 in Plymouth on Tuesday. Liverton. His pass for Larose. That doesn't work. Roy moving in. Quick pass in front from McGrath, and he couldn't get the good shot away. Carl Stewart back the other way. He's got Thorburn with him along with Chad Larose. Stewart using his speed to the outside. He'll stop. Throws it in front. Here's a chance for Thorburn with a shot. And again, Dickey has the quick glove hand.
This is what speed can do for you. Carl Stewart has the puck. He backs the defenseman off. Look at how he gets room because Halkitis is scrambling to try to keep up with him. Buys himself enough time to find Thorburn coming in. And Thorburn very good with the puck in tight.
Chris Thorburn with 8 goals in the postseason. 15 points leads his team, but he was stopped there by Dickey.
Dickey's on his game. He's playing very well, very focused.
28 saves so far for the leading playoff goaltender in the Ontario Hockey League. Benoit sees that puck go by him. Clarkson, quick pass up for Roy. He's got Campbell with him, snaps this shot, and that one goes over top of the net. Dave Clarkson takes the hit from Wisniewski, keeps it in. Roy has the puck again. He is being harassed by Mitchell. Roy, the captain of the Kitchener Rangers, moving in. Clarkson will backhand it in. Weber will leave it there for Wisniewski. He'll clear it around the boards. Jonas Wiedler takes a bump as he gets to center. Mitchell trying to carry on. He's turned aside. Back the other way. Here comes Mike Richards. Richards. Wisniewski trying to haul him down. Can't do it. Chance out in front. Clarkson back to Andre Benoit. Benoit will flip it into the corner. Richards waiting for it. Being watched by Vigilante. Fights through that check. Now he's got to deal with Nate Kaiser. Vigilante comes up with the puck. Trying to get it out and does. And it's too far for Mitchell as both teams want to change. 9 minutes, 41 seconds to go here in regulation time. Kenko lays it back to Benoit to Navigon. Cole Jarrett. Into the corner it goes. First to get to it, Tim Sestito. Trying to center it out in front, went off the back of the net. Sestito gets it again. Andre Benoit watching him. Sestito moves over the corner, gets it back up top. Long shot, and that one didn't miss by much. Plymouth trying to put some pressure on now. Cheezick will keep it in. Gagnon in behind the net. Picked up by Matt Grenier. Grenier will get to the blue line, avoid the check, but he can't get it out. Sestito doing a good job of keeping it in for the Plymouth Whalers. He gets knocked down by Eason. Jarrett comes up with the puck. Here's Jarrett trying to get it out in front. He does. Cheezick with the shot, and that one hit the side of the net. Cheezick in around behind the net. Puck is loose. Cheezick going after it. And now we get a whistle. You're watching OHL playoff hockey from Kitchener. Don't forget that coming up after the game, Sportsnet News with Peter Labardius and R.J. Broadhead. They'll get you caught up on all the highlights from around the league, including the 2 NHL games going on. The Vancouver Canucks trying to stay alive against the St. Louis Blues. 8:37 to go here in regulation time. 3-1 is the score in favor of the Kitchener Rangers. And that's going to be icing. It'll come back down into the Kitchener end.
This CHL game is brought to you by iTech Hockey, the exclusive player and goalie facial supplier to the Canadian Hockey League.
David Clarkson is now on the line with Campbell and Roy. They've taken the rookie Evan McGrath off the line. Clarkson very, very reliable late in the game.
From the faceoff, kept in by Plymouth. Out in front is Stewart trying to create some havoc in front of Dickey. Steve Eminger comes up with the puck. Eminger, nice pass up for Clarkson. Clarkson will shoot it in and went off Jarrett and high into the netting.
Smart play by Derek Roy to get the puck over to his defensive partner in the own end of the ice. No stick in his hand, gloves it over. Realizing that he can do that, you're allowed to. He had no pressure, made a good pass.
Kitchener beat the Sioux in round 1 4 straight, and then beat the Guelph Storm, the defending Ontario Hockey League champions, or the hosts of the Memorial Cup last year, I should say. Erie won the championship, beat them in 5 games. Now they're in the Western Conference Final against the Plymouth Whalers. Here's Dave Clarkson. Clarkson to Roy. Moving in. Roy hauled down by Larose. Chris Thorburn trying to get it out. Can't do it. Clarkson will keep it in. Weak shot. Blocker saved by Weber. Campbell in behind the net. Nate Kaiser comes up with the puck. He'll get it to Carl Stewart. Trying to chop it out against Clarkson. Comes to Thorburn. Can't get it by Roy. Derek Roy trying to get it to Clarkson and got deflected right on, and Weber had to be sharp. Larose trying to get it out. Can't do it. Lifted has his chance. Thorburn now gets it up to Chad Larose. Larose at the blue line. Moving in against Eminger. Stops. Throws it towards the net. Tipped by Stewart, and a penalty coming up. And the Plymouth Whalers with 7:21 to go here. And a charging call.
David Clarkson takes out the Plymouth Whaler right just inside the blue line. He's being called for charging.
Well, here's another chance. We talked about the Plymouth Whalers being able to get back into the game with special teams. And now they have connected once. Their only goal coming in the third period. Cole Jarrett got it at 5:28. They'll need it here with 7:21 to go. It'll be their 5th opportunity with the man advantage. Here is Cole Jarrett moving in front, takes the shot, Dickey the save. And with Fiedler right there, he decides to hang on to it.
I'm impressed with the way Plymouth's defense moved the puck side to side. They take the lane that they have. They don't try to force it. They put it on the net. No big wind-ups on their shots. They just want to get it through to the net. And it's effective. We saw it work earlier when Jarrett scored the goal.
Got his 4th of the postseason. He has the puck again. Jarrett moving in. Centers it out in front. And then hopped over the stick of Vigilante. There's Wisniewski with a high shot. Jarrett will keep it in on the near side. Into the corner it goes. Vigilante comes up with it. He's with Mitchell and Fiedler. Mitchell still has it. Being watched by Onavigon. Vigilante back up top. Mitchell takes the wrist shot. Dickey the save. Flex into the corner. Vigilante going after it. Beaten to the puck. Cleared but not out. Wisniewski will keep it in. Here's Cole Jarrett now. Moving in. He gets by Grenier. In deep in behind the net. Mitchell out in front. Matt Grenier, good defensive job. Mitchell comes up with the puck. Back up top it goes. Wisniewski. Quick shot there, and body's flying in front of Dickey. 1 minute to go with the man advantage. Mitchell at the blue line, and a good play there by Matt Grenier as he tipped it out and down into Plymouth territory.
Terrific penalty killing by Grenier all over the ice, sliding, blocking shots. Just a workhorse out there.
Jarrett, long cross ice pass, 43 seconds to go. Halkitis picked that off. There's Campbell with a chance now. Short-handed. Gregory Campbell takes a bump from Jarrett, and that allows Wisniewski to come up with the puck. 32 seconds to go in the man advantage. Chris Thorburn moving in now for the Whalers with some speed. Thorburn cutting from that, takes the shot. Dickey the save, and he'll cover up and get the whistle.
Chris Thorburn has tremendous ability to use his size and his strength. He generates speed, but this here, he keeps on taking and fighting to get to the front of the net and get a shot. He could have taken that one right across the crease if he kept on driving and cutting, because Halkitis was worried about the man out front, Stewart, driving to the net.
That was the 4th shot on this power play for the Plymouth Whalers. 16 overall with the man advantage. And here's Nate Kaiser, winds up, takes the shot. Dickey the save with Carl Stewart right on the doorstep. And again, Dickey able to make the save.
You know when a goaltender is in the right position. Right there, he didn't know where that puck was. He went down in the butterfly position, and it caught him in the trapper. But because he's keeping himself in good position, square to the shot, he's making the big saves, even when there's traffic in front of him.
19 seconds left to go in the man advantage. Thompson. Thorburn wins it back to Kaiser at the point. Cole Jarrett on the other side. Wrist shot low. And Imager there to block it. Halkitis got knocked down, and he is slow to get up. Play continues. Jarrett over to Kaiser. Kaiser lets the shot go, and Dickey will make the save and hang on. And George Halkitis is given a rough ride in front of his own net.
Well, he's pleading his case to the referee because Chad Larose and him mixed it up out in front of the net. You can see that right there. Larose off to the side, catches him up a bit high in the face. Now, I don't know if he's not really hurt and he's still on the ice. If I'm the coach, I'm saying get off the ice, get up and play the puck, and get ready to play. You don't want to be trying to draw a penalty when they have an opportunity. The ref's not even calling it.
Penalty is almost over. And now it is teams at even strength with 5 minutes and 18 seconds to go in regulation time. And we get another whistle as the puck ended up underneath Carl Stewart.
Well, Halkitis does a terrific job out front of the net killing penalties, but like I said, you have to be tough and not fall down and stay down and try to draw a penalty, especially when you feel the pressure in front of the net. But Halkitis plays like a pro.
10 goals during the regular season. That was a career high for number 21. And his team has a 3-1 lead, and they're trying to take a 2-1 lead in this Western Conference series. As Jarrett has trouble getting out. Here's Roy moving in. He's got Campbell trying to center it. Good play by Wisniewski to break that up. Clarkson. Backhand trying to keep it in. The Plymouth Whalers will get it out to center. And barely for Cole Jarrett. And he had his Shield knocked off. Here's Chad Larose being watched by Derek Roy. Roy checks him. Campbell will fire it in. Kaiser back into his own zone. 35-19, the shots on goal in favor of the Plymouth Whalers, but they find themselves down by 2. Wisniewski. Larose. Kaiser. Long shot. And Dickey has no problem with that one. And he'll decide to cover it up. We'll be back with more from Kitchener right after this.
The Ontario Hockey League on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the new Don Cherry Tall Boy Can. Now free inside cases of Molson Canadian playoff packs and perfect for watching the game. By Tim Hortons Iced Cappuccino. Tim Hortons Iced Cap. Totally creamy, totally cool. And by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
4 minutes, 13 seconds to go here in regulation time. The Kitchener Rangers with a 3-1 lead. Trying to take a 2-1 lead in the Western Conference Final. Sestito loses the puck. Battles in the corner for it. Can't come up with it. And the Rangers able to get it down the ice. Adam Keefe racing after it, but he can't get there in time. It'll come back on the icing.
Kitchener is going to be in a 1-2-2 mode. They're going to send one guy up, have 2 guys through the neutral zone, set up like a trap type of system through the neutral zone. They are not going to try to give up very much, not allow Plymouth to generate any speed through that neutral zone, try to create a lot of turnovers.
3-1 was the score in game 1 here in Kitchener. Only it was Plymouth that had that. They took the game 1 on the road teams that won all the games in this series. And that may change here with 3 minutes and 52 seconds to go in the 3rd period. James Wisniewski being watched by Kanko. Sends it around the boards. Garrett hits it to Carl Stewart. Stewart. Alias check. Mike Richards comes up with it. Richards moving in with Kanko. Richards in the corner. Stopped Wisniewski. Ends up on top of him. And the puck is loose, and Cole Jarrett comes up with it. Right to Kanko. Let the shot go. And Carl Stewart got a stick on it before it could get to Jeff Weber. Weber coming on for the 2nd straight game in relief of the starter, Paul Drew. 36-19, the shots on goal in favor of the Whalers, but Scott Dickey has done an outstanding job.
Scott Dickey has really arose to this occasion. He loves to play in this building. He thrives on it. And in game 1, I know that he was very disappointed. This team did not come out and play that they wanted, the way they wanted to play. Game 2 on the road, he wants his home fans to see how well he can play, and he's really rose to this occasion. 36 shots against already.
9-2 in the postseason coming into this game tonight. Andre Benoit will flip it in. Weber will leave it there for Nate Kaiser. Kaiser moving out slowly. His pass is picked off by Campbell. And Roy gets it, and he'll just flip it into the Plymouth end.
And this is where you see the 1-2-2. They're setting up in the neutral zone. They've already turned the puck over 2 or 3 times in the last couple minutes.
2 minutes, 47 seconds to go in regulation time. Eason turns, bangs it off the glass and gets it out, and it's brought back in on the offside by Kaiser. Let's take a look at the hockey game so far in our game review.
Well, we mentioned Scott Dickey has been tremendous in net, 35 saves, 2 goals on 8 shots in the 2nd period. On Paul Drew, really stepped up their game. They've scored a lot of goals in this series in the 2nd. And Kanko has been outstanding. And every shift that he's on the ice, you notice him making things happen out there.
2.5 minutes to go in regulation time. James Wisniewski quickly up for Jimmy Gagnon. Gagnon. He is checked by Andre Benoit. Can't get it out. Tim Sestito comes up with it. Sestito trying to get loose. Can't do it. Adam Keefe's got it. He'll backhand it off the boards and out. Here's a chance now for Matt Grenier. Grenier moving in. And a good defensive play there by Sestito as he broke it up. Plymouth back the other way. Tim Sestito. Cross ice pass. And another offside as Jimmy Gagnon got in ahead of the play. And now the frustration mounting for the Plymouth Whalers. And Nick Brunelli, who has not had a lot of ice time, but they're making his presence felt.
Well, with a player like Adam Keefe on the ice, you know that Adam Keefe is going to be stirring things up as well. He likes to get gritty and get feisty and throw the other team off their game. But you're right, Vernelli getting on the ice for a rare shift, making his presence felt.
Well, all this comes with 2:08 to go in regulation time. So you know it's all about sending messages for the next game, which will be Tuesday night, Game 4 in Plymouth. They'll be back here in Kitchener on Thursday night for Game 5. Kitchener Rangers, the number 3 ranked team in the country. And the number 1 team in the Ontario Hockey League, the only team with 100 points during the regular season. We did not see it in Game 1. We're seeing it here. There's Stewart. Moving in for the Whalers. Stewart takes the shot. And Dickey has the answer right there with a quick glove hand. Now Weber is over at the bench with 1:55 to go. Those 6 attackers for the Whalers as they are desperate, down by 2. Well, he'll sit on the bench. And they try and get back into this hockey game. Wisniewski will keep it into the blue line. Steve Eminger in behind the net, sends it around the boards. Nobody there for the Whalers. And Wisniewski will have to retreat. Being watched by Peter Kanko. Gets it to Cole Jarrett. Navigon watching him. Here's Chad Larose up the middle. Larose with 1 minute 36 seconds to go in regulation time. Sends it out in front and it deflects right to Dickey. Then Fiedler was headed for the net. Gave him a little bit of a bump. But Dickey hung on to the puck.
Well, Larose, when he has the puck, you have to keep an eye on him. He not only can score goals, but makes a nice pass to the center of the ice when he feels the pressure on him. There's Fiedler redirecting it. But again, Dickey, very calm. He doesn't overreact. He's noticed it all game long. Early on, only the one time Larose had a chance, he was swimming around that crease. But every other time around that crease, he's been solid and calm.
37 saves so far in this hockey game. And now a timeout has been called as the Plymouth Whalers will try and diagram a way of getting 2 goals with time winding down.
Mike Vellucci drawing up a little bit of the game plan. Now he has some experience coaching in big games. His 9th year coaching, 7 years he coached Tier 2 and he won 2 championships. So he's been experienced, put himself through it. Now Pete DeBoer, he has an advantage over Mike Vellucci a little bit because he has coached a lot of the players on the other team. Cole Jarrett, Chad Larose, Carl Stewart. He knows their tendencies, has an idea, so that could be a little bit of an advantage for him as this series goes on, maybe to take advantage of some of these tendencies that he knows these players so well.
And Stewart, Larose, and Jarrett are out there now, along with Fiedler and Thorburn. 6 attackers for the Plymouth Whalers. 1:30 to go. Jarrett. Wisniewski, quick shot, Dickey the pad save. Larose gets it back up top. Wisniewski through a crowd. Eminger blocked that. And he gets it out. Wisniewski keeps it in. And now they'll get it out. Wisniewski with Mike Richards right after him. 1:12 to go in regulation time. Here's Larose. He'll flip it in. He gets to the blue line, no further. And Richards able to ease it down into Plymouth territory. Now less than a minute to go. Here's Larose on the near side. He is stopped by Richards. Gives it to Derek Roy. Takes the shot. He missed the target, but he was over center. 48 seconds to go now. Jarrett loses the handle. Richards will keep it in. Backhands it, and that goes off the netting. So the faceoff will come out of the Plymouth territory.
Well, Richards doing a good job earlier. He had the puck, didn't throw it down the ice blindly. He made a nice soft play down the ice. Good smart plays, and like you'd mentioned, Derek Roy was over center, took the shot at net. That's very disciplined hockey. The guys know what to do with the puck when they have it. They're not panicking with it.
Mike Richards, an outstanding regular season, led the team in goals with 37 and at 87 points. And his hockey team is now just 38 seconds away from going up 2-1 in the Western Final. Long shot. Dickey has that one bounced by him. And Cheezick, well, let's say it, gets a cheesy goal. Now this comes with 31.7 seconds to go. Hold on.
Cheezick has the puck at center. He's just dumping the puck on net. They want to get a face-off deep in the offensive zone to try to set something up. And that's where Dickey mishandles it. A little bit of a drop shot coming at him. The puck is fluttering through the air.
And Martin Chizik gets his first goal of the postseason. 30 seconds to go in a one-goal hockey game. Well, we saw Paul Drew give up a soft goal to start this game from Nathan O'Nabegon. And now a soft one on Scott Dickey. 17 seconds to go. Puck cleared around the boards and out. And late in the game, it doesn't have enough steam to cross the line. The fans here at the auditorium standing, applauding their team. The first team to win a home game scores! But it's too late. No time on the clock. But hold on, the Plymouth Whalers are saying they've tied this hockey game. The green light on as that puck crossed the line, but the Whalers saying it should count. Hold on just a second. We're not quite done here in Kitchener.
Referee Brad Beers doesn't know what to think right now. That was very, very close. And Jarrett making an end-to-end rush. Gets the puck. Nice pass up by Fiedler. And Jarrett all alone just puts a beautiful shot over the shoulder of Scott Dickey.
You can see on that shot, as he let it go, the light was green. Now the Whalers celebrate. But listen to this. Was it a buzzer beater? Now Cole Jarrett looking for his second goal of the hockey game. And as you mentioned, Brad Beer has a big decision. Cole Jarrett and the rest of the Plymouth Whalers waiting to see what the decision will be. They're discussing it now. And nothing yet. The decision continues. And what a critical goal this could be. The series tied at 1. The Rangers seemingly in control of this one, but watch for the green light. As Jarrett let it go, the light is green. Wow, high drama here in Kitchener for Game 3. Ian Smith, he didn't think he was going to be in this hockey game, and now he's part of a huge decision. Pete DeBoer looking on, has seen his team with a 3-1 lead late in the hockey game. And a soft goal given up by Scott Dickey made it 3-2. And now a late attempt by Jarrett to try and even this hockey game, but he can't do it. This game is over. The Kitchener Rangers win it 3-2. But it doesn't get much closer than that. A last-second attempt by Cole Jarrett was just a little bit too late. And the Kitchener Rangers take a 2-1 series lead.
Well, Coach Mike Bellucci and his team are not happy with that decision. I'll tell you, Peter DeBoer's heart must have stopped the beat at that time when that puck went in there, because that was probably one of the closest calls that I've ever seen.
Wow. But the decision is no goal. And now the explanation being given to the captain, Nate Kaiser of the Plymouth Whalers, from referee Brad Beer. Jarrett wants to know why this game is not tied. Of course, here in Kitchener, we don't have the benefit of the overhead that we would have at the NHL. So this game is over. And the Kitchener Rangers, a 3-2 win. Game 4 set for Plymouth on Tuesday. And now the coach getting the explanation. And no matter what explanation he gets, he's not going to be satisfied.
Cole Jarrett had a goal earlier in the game with a tremendous wrist shot, and again right there, that shot, and I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, he has the best wrist shot by a defenseman in the league. Boy, did the release, Scott Dickey didn't know it was coming. I guess you feel that you're at the end of the period, you feel the buzzer's going to run out, maybe you let up for that split second.
And that split second was the difference, and the Kitchener Rangers come away with a 3-2 victory and a 2-1 lead in the Western Conference Final here in the OHL.